is going to work now, and I find.
Oh, it's working. Here we go.
Let's go ahead now.
I don't know how this is going to work now on the phone. If recording it now, is there a maximum thing or? Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. Go on, we're recording. Go on, Danny. We'll try it and see what happens.
We're recording now in the sports segment. Ladies and gentlemen, members of Irish Rugby Banter, welcome to this evening's video. I'm joined by Matt Boland, Pierre Martin, Peter Burke, and Mr. Ray Gallagher as well, our Ulster man. I'd say, Peter, this probably going to be recorded maybe on your iPhone cloud or something like that, so it'll probably be recorded there. We'll get it up into our group and maybe our YouTube page as soon as we can. But I suppose we'll start tonight's talking about last weekend's Champions Cup and European games. Up first was Leinster against Racing. Matt, I'll go to you first in this one. 36-10 win over Racing. What are your thoughts in the match?
Yeah, look, I mean, I knew we were going to win. In fairness to Racing, they put it up to us for a good part, all the first half and a good part of the second half, which kind of made it a good test, I suppose. Lots of great players playing. Jimmy O'Brien and Ringrose were amazing in the back line. They linked up really well together. And I think the try, was it the try in the 52nd minute was scored by Jimmy O'Brien where Ringrose broke through, yeah, and that kind of got us back in, got the momentum back into Leinster. It was a fantastic fucking piece of play in rugby. Leading up to that then as well, like Jamie Osborne was playing really well in that game, and he had a good, great pass then to kind of release Ringrose to get the break and get the try and back into the game. And then 65 minutes, then we just started to pull away, and that was pretty much game over. I was a bit annoyed with, wasn't annoyed with Larmer slapping the ball down for a deliberate knock on. I was more annoyed with Ross Byrne saying, what the fuck was he doing? Because he just kicked to nowhere. It would, like, there was nothing on. I don't know whether he looked up, saw the player, but didn't see the fucking Racing player. I don't know. Don't know what went through his head anyway, but for me, that was just a moment of madness. And, like, you can't really blame fucking Larmer for trying to knock it down. You know, what else can you do in that situation other than fucking do something stupid and fucking give away a penalty and get yellow carded? Nothing. Yeah. But sure, look, other than that, you know, Leinster took it to the end and won comfortably in the end, 26-point win. You know, I had said 15 points. That was
thrown out of the water, yeah.
Thrown out of the water. But sure, look, I mean, a win's a win, you know. We're through to the next round, and I think we're playing Ulster in the next round, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ulster at home. So that'll be, no offense, Ray, but sure, we'll be through to the quarterfinals.
Ooh, controversial.
Martin, your thoughts on the game?
I was at it. Yeah, just basically echoing what Matt said, is that it was more than a contest for an hour. Leinster really just couldn't kind of get their stamp on the game. They were a bit inaccurate at ruck time, just a bit inaccurate overall. Weren't getting the phases together. The French managed to slow it down a little bit. They got one of their tries through the maul, which was basically rinse and repeat because they had Leinster under serious pressure at maul time. The maul defence from Leinster wasn't particularly good. I remember watching the game, the same kind of issue I think cropped up during the Gloucester game. So maybe there must be some sort of perceived weakness there that teams might be looking to capitalise on. I'm sure the Leinster coaching staff will try and get that sorted as we go forward. Only other thing really to say about it is that, look, when Leinster managed to get their momentum going, they got the tails up, got the wheels in motion. They were just unstoppable, really. They kept on going right to the bitter end. I think the referee actually seemed to play over 80 minutes. We were all standing around in the Aviva looking at the clock and 80 minutes on it, and he was still playing. And this was even after the ball had gone went out of play, went into touch. So there must have been some sort of clock timekeeping issue there, unaware of. What can you say other than Ringrose was absolutely deserved as man of the match? Like one thing, I suppose you talk about different players, about established players, and Ringrose is certainly one of those. Is where can they kind of add on bits and pieces to their game? And I think Ringrose has definitely stood up big time in a leadership role. Like, he's been excellent. Like, he seems to have an excellent way about him with referees. And he's leading by example. He's a crucial player for Leinster. Dovetails so well with Osborne. Osborne could be an outside bet for a starting berth. Never mind, covering the bench perhaps during the Six Nations at some stage. So comfortable he looks at this level. But look, that's other than the spoofer was opposite Ross Byrne and had a few moments for part of the first half. I just don't see what he was offering. The other crucial thing, and I'll finish on this, was I noticed the difference between the French team and between Racing and Leinster is fitness, conditioning.
Yeah.
Watching the subs warm up, the Leinster subs warm up and stretch in front of us. They were all coherent. They're all connected. They were all doing the same thing, or pretty much the same thing. The lads from Racing, one of them had stood there watching the game with his hands in the hips. The other guy was kind of chucking the ball, and a couple of the other lads were kind of doing like a kind of an evasion, working on their stepping. They're all doing different things. And I think it just showed, like, to be honest with, like, Racing, they were gassed on 60 minutes. They're there with the hands and the hips. And that was some of the replacements were at like that. So, nothing else to say there anyway.
Yeah.
So it's probably down to the conditioning and the continuity of the Leinster squad and the way they're kind of operating from the bench. Though bench players coming on, they're literally hitting this ground running, so to speak. Burke,
Absolutely.
what are your thoughts on the match, and particularly the spoofer himself?
I enjoyed the game. Not for the first 60 minutes. I think what Matt said and what Peter said is bang on. I think, like, do I want to talk about the fucking spoofer? Jesus Christ! I mean,
Yes,
you do.
He had one good move. He outran 2 second rows. Big fucking whoop, he missed 2 crucial tackles.
Yeah.
He kicked fucking shit. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on him. Leinster Racing, brilliant. 36-10. Ringrose man of the match. It brings us up to we're top of the table on 20 points. One thing to note is the points difference that Leinster have over second place Exeter. Leinster's points difference is 150. Exeter in second place are on 71.
Yeah.
Now, we're more than double the points difference on that, So, anyway, look, it was a good game. Racing certainly put it up to us, but as Peter Martin alluded to, their fitness it didn't stand up to them, and just they were outclassed in the last 20 minutes. But certainly for the first 60, there was certainly a game there to be had.
Yeah. Ray, you didn't see any of the match right here, did you?
Oh yeah. I saw that match. See, as a neutral, I think that game was more comfortable for Leinster than you guys are giving it credit for. I don't think they were ever in trouble at any stage. And with the bench that they had to bring on, I think Racing were always going to be in trouble. If they hadn't blown Leinster away in the first half or the first 60, I think they were going to be in trouble no matter what. But the thing I noticed in that game, and it's been coming a little while with Leinster, is you're talking about a team that at the minute is playing without Johnny Sexton and without Robbie Henshaw.
Tyke Furlong.
Tyke Furlong, the like starting lines. But my thing is that 10-12 axis with Ross Byrne and Jimmy Osborne has been absolutely exceptional for second and third string starters. Because, Charlie Natai wasn't there either. And they ran that game like there was nothing. They run former European champions into the ground. I thought they were absolutely brilliant the vast majority of the time. They had a move for everything. So their accuracy when they get within the red zone is absolutely unreal. as much as I hate saying nice things about Leinster, like it's hard not to at the minute. You know, there's no team playing anything like them.
You must be shitting yourselves coming down here for the quarterfinal. So
Not at all. Did you look at the Mold defense?
Yeah,
Swear to God,
just maul everything, Ray. Just maul everything.
From hour 22 on, like I fancy it. No, it's obviously going to be a tough ask. Like, how often do Ulster win in Dublin, and especially the way Ulster playing at the minute, like it's going to be a tough ask. But you know, what can you say?
Ray, can I ask you a question? When Leinster play Ulster, where is the game going to be won? Is it going to be up front? Is it going to be in the back line? Is it going to be in plays? Is it going to be in set plays? Or I suppose my question is, where are Ulster lacking where Leinster are going to dominate?
Assuming that Leinster do dominate, I would say it's going to be down to accuracy. Like, I don't think there's a team in Europe as accurate as Leinster at the minute. Everything they do it's so well drilled. It's so well coached. It's very, very hard to defend the layers of attack and the layers of deception in their attack. And this is what we're seeing in the points difference that you talked about. Like, they're scoring tries for fun, but at the same time, their defense is only coughed. What have they coughed up? 30 something points in all games so far in the Champions Cup. Like, it's
35.
It's scary. Yeah, they're formidable is the nicest thing I can say. You know, it's going to be a tough day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw bits and pieces of that match as well, and I think I said in the match as well that when Racing went 10-0 up, I said the only good thing that was keeping Leinster in the game at that stage was Finn Russell and his back kicking boots. Because I think if he got some of those kicks, I think he would put Leinster under a bit more pressure. But yeah, I think we'd all kind of.
That's why he's a fucking spoofer, right?
I know.
It didn't go 10-0 up.
But that's
it.
Yeah,
10-7.
10-7.
12-7.
Yeah, but I think he left something like 7 points behind him in that first half, something like that.
Yeah,
points behind on me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, we have Newcastle and Connacht. I didn't see any of this game. I just got the result of it. Ray, did you see any of that game?
I'll be honest, I saw nothing. I've watched the highlights, like, and it looked not the greatest affair for Connacht. Like, you wonder what's going on there at the minute. You know, that Connacht have been playing some good rugby of late. Like, it was a game I, to be honest, expected them to win reasonably comfortably, and I only just saw the result and then went to watch the highlights, and I was a bit surprised with it now, to be honest.
Yeah, because I think all they needed was one bonus point or something like that, and they had home advantage in the last 16. Now they're away to Benetton.
Yeah.
So I think Finlay Bean and me got all 3 kind of tries, I think, in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They're converted, right?
Yeah.
Burke, you didn't see any of that game? Newcastle.
I saw bits of it, Danny. I saw bits of it, and I would echo what Ray said. I didn't see enough of it to have an absolute good opinion on it. But I think before the game, I kind of thought Connacht would have done better. But yeah, 35-21. I don't know. The bits I saw of the game, Connacht, I don't think played particularly well. Particularly up front. I think they got turned over a few times, but I didn't see the whole game, so I'm not going to go an absolute comment on the game and on how they played, but I thought they would have done better, to be honest with you, looking at the scoreline.
So the fact that James Grennan isn't here, you're not going to repeat the usual thing of Connacht or shite, are you?
No, I'm not
afraid of you. You said that for this year.
No, I'll save that for when Grennan is here. yes.
Martin, you didn't see the game or anything, did you?
No, I didn't. And look, I think we were all saying last week, as regards to predictions, we all think most of us kind of said that Connacht would win. But I'm just reading, glancing back over the stats here from the game to see if I can pinpoint from my own information, never mind anyone else's, where it was won and lost. And like they did, like Connacht had 8 offloads to 4, or sorry, Newcastle had 8 offloads to 4 from Connacht. Turnovers 1, Connacht won 3 more than Newcastle. It's just basically efficiency of using the possession when they had it. They didn't, it's the bits and pieces of the game that you can't actually kind of nail down, and a stat that it was bad decision making. They didn't basically make it a best of a 2-on-1 situation or something like that. That's all I can surmise. Obviously, I'm saying that without having seen a minute of the game. But look, from recollection of looking at the score, it was a fairly ding dong kind of game insofar as that, Newcastle got ahead and Connacht came back into it, and it was kind of their trading kind of blows, kind of pretty much kind of the whole way out. Look, we're hearing all kinds of bits and pieces about what's going on with Connacht. Don't forget, Andy Friend is on his way out.
Yeah.
We don't know yet who's taking over. That's going to be a conversation perhaps to have with James Grennan and anybody else from Connacht who would care to come on and give their spake on it. So look, maybe there's a lack of drive there, perhaps. I don't know. We're hearing all kinds of other bits and pieces coming from Connacht, but look, it'll all come out in the wash, I'm sure, towards the end of the season when players know exactly if they're coming, going, staying, or whatever they're doing.
Peter, can I ask you a question about Connacht?
Yeah.
You mentioned there about turnovers and offloads and all that. Is that a team thing or is that a coaching thing?
Well, it's at the highest level. It's more of I would say that it's a combination of both, really. Like the players have to go after it. It's obviously part of the game. Is that, well, if you lose possession, you have to try and win it back. You win it back, obviously, at the breakdown, or through unforced errors. And after that, then it's efficiency of where it is. Like we all know, the modern game is ultimately about breakdown, I think. Yes, I'd agree. Yes, set piece is crucially important, but I think it's the part of the unstructured piece is the key difference.
But is it a lack of coaching or is it a lack of skill sets in the players?
Well, look,
now you're a coach. You're a coach, so
yeah, of under 11s now, mind you, they're still learning the trade.
But you've got the knowledge.
Yeah, well, look, I would say that the players that are coming to Connacht, calling a spade, they're not at the same caliber that perhaps certainly a number of the Munster, Leinster, and indeed like those players. Let's just call a spade. It is what it is. Now, in saying that, Pete Wilkins is highly regarded as a coach. Like, there's a reason why Andy Farrell took him to New Zealand. Look, it could be. Look, there's an awful lot going on there. Perhaps certain players aren't responding, perhaps as well to Wilkins. I don't know. We don't know. So yeah, it's an element of both. Like there's personal responsibility on the fact that players say, look, can you make your detail even that 1% better? That's what it boils down to, I feel.
Fair enough.
Matt, you didn't see any of the game, did you?
I didn't, to be honest. But again, just looking at the stats, like the possession in that game was 53-47 in favor of Newcastle and 54-46 in favor of Newcastle for territory. So the paper says it should have been a more even game, but they went down 21-0 or something, was it, at the start? So that's an almighty task to come back from anyway, and to get back into the game just shows their commitment to not getting walked over. But we all know, like, coaches galvanize teams, and when a coach decides that he's leaving or moving on or getting the boot or whatever, teams do fall apart. Whatever it is about it, the coach just galvanizes and meshes teams together. We saw it when Joe Schmidt, unfortunately, right before a World Cup, said he was leaving Ireland for pastures new, and you saw the performance of Ireland in the World Cup that year. When it just gets into your mindset, when when a team has their coach and you're going from season to season and you're getting better and doing really well, getting results where you shouldn't be getting results, and then they said they're leaving, it's like a kick up the hole. It's like a knife in the stomach. It's an awful feeling. So unfortunately, it's happening now for Connacht, and they are a better team than that they're currently playing at the minute, and there is good players there. So hopefully when the new coach comes in, whoever that may be, will get that team back together and get that kind of camaraderie and get the passion going again. And we'll see a good few results from Connacht then, hopefully now next season.
Yeah. Funny enough, Matt, they're actually 3 out of 4 they won the games in the Challenge Cup this year. So they actually had a good run. Newcastle was actually their first loss at the time. So
that's why I was so surprised.
Well, like I mean, I put Connacht down to win that game. I thought they would have won it, So like they're not doing so well in the URC, but then all of a sudden, like as you're saying, they've won the 3 out of the last 4 games in the cup. But sure, what does that really mean?
Yeah, I suppose
they might have had, and the way the cup games are paced out thereafter, they've kind of peaked at like a point in the season where they're actually playing well together. Do you know what I mean? But there's no doubt about it that they're not playing to their potentials at the moment.
Do you know what? I go to Ray again.
Yeah.
Ulster versus Sale. Your thoughts on that game?
It was the reaction and result that I would like. Maybe not performance just yet, but get improving. I say a few notes I'd sort of made. I say Sale's physicality and their kick chase game for the first 20-30 minutes had Ulster on their ass. Like, we really struggled to deal with it for the first kind of 20-30 minutes. But started to sort of build into the game, got a bit of set piece. Set piece was pretty good. Scrum was good. Line out was good. Maul was good. Starting to look a little bit better. It was never going to be the same game as it was in England with all the travel disruptions and all that shite, like that you can put excuses on. But the result that was really, really needed. It was badly, badly needed. A loss in that game, and I think this entire season is going to be scrapped, not just the Champions Cup, but I think that was going to lead on. Going out of the Champions Cup into the URC was going to end up being a real, real handling.
Yeah.
But yeah, a few good things to say. There's maybe a difference in attitude to it, where the way the team was selected, even 7 internationals on the bench, Ulster have been struggling to finish out games. Maybe a change in mindset that if they weren't really, really far behind after 50, 60 minutes, having the internationals on the bench coming on helped to close out a game, and the fact that they were close and in front made it a lot easier. Could be something to look at going forward. They say it might not work against Leinster in the quarterfinal, but it worked for that game anyways. I think they got a lot better when Cooney came on. Ruck speed went up, accuracy went up. Happy in result. Performance still leaves a little bit to be desired, but happy. Take that.
But let's face it, Ray, I think we'd all agree here. I know if they win is better than an abuse for loss.
Well,
if you know what I mean.
This is where Ulster have been. It's been a lot of, games thereabouts, and then a horrible, heartbreaking loss at the end of it. Just the fact that, we're able to get that one. I think it's a big deal to just get that one on the run of form that they were in. I know they'd only played Sale a few weeks beforehand, but I think it's a big difference.
Yeah, but I suppose maybe that little change for McFarland where he can have a few internationals on the bench coming off rather than stacking all of them together in the one go might make things a little bit easier, might give that balance needed for Ulster as well. So
I'll
maybe
say,
it's just something to look at.
That's been it. It's been the games that those players have been starting, and then when a game is thereabouts and in the balance, the bench isn't much of an impact. Where in that game, I think the team that started held out for as long as they needed to, and then the internationals coming on in the end made a difference and got them to the line.
Yeah, so maybe it's something from McFarland to look at it anyway. Peter Burke, you didn't see the game or anything, did you?
I did, yeah. I saw it. And to be honest with you, beforehand, I thought Sale would have fucking hammered them. but fair play to Ulster. It was an enjoyable watch from a neutral. I thought Ulster surprisingly bossed it in the back three, the 6, 7, 8. I thought I was actually really surprised that Ulster actually won that game, to be honest with you. No disrespect, Ray, but I didn't think Ulster were going to win that.
You predicted last week, Peter, that would be a bonus. It would be 25, Sale by 25. There you go.
Yeah. But there you go. So QED. I was very surprised that Ulster won that, but fair play to them. I mean, they outclassed 1 to 8, 6, 7, 8. They bossed that park, middle of the park. You know, it was good to watch, and it was a pleasant surprise for me anyway. So fair play to Ulster, and well done. They qualified 8th position in the last 16. So good luck to them when they come down to the Aviva.
It's going to be a fun day.
Yeah, it has to be said. Actually, on the side note there.
Sorry, Ray.
No, but on the side note there, I think if Ulster had lost the game, they'd have actually ended up qualifying for the Challenge Cup instead of the Champions Cup.
That's right.
Because of the
Yeah.
So they would still be in Europe, just a different competition. Peter Martin, did you see any of the game?
No, I didn't. But just looking there at the bench, that the point that Ray was making about the experience in the internationals, come on, like 7 of the bench for Ulster in that game have been capped for Ireland. So look, it does mean something. It does mean something to have a caliber, a game changer, an impact coming off the bench, even if it's just basically just having that little bit extra nous, that bit of, that bit of know-how and how to do the job. It makes a huge difference, and players who are on the pitch can see, they can see what's coming on the pitch as well. It can give them a lift, particularly when it's tight. That guys who've got that bit more experience and have played at the highest level are coming on to show what they can do. So yeah, look, there's no doubt about it. Managing your resources and your players, who's starting, who can make a difference when you come on. It's important that, and I've kind of mentioned that before previously about Ireland, is that in the past, particularly probably under Schmidt, that's been basically you put the best 15 on the pitch, and then you've got the bench, which is the next best. It doesn't always necessarily have to be that way, and thankfully we are now at the stage under Farrell that we have 23 who can all impact the game. But look, like that again, coming back to the Ulster, they managed the game very well, but I see by the looks of it, and well done on them.
Yeah. Matt, you see the game or anything?
I didn't actually see the game, and echoing what everybody else has said, like I actually went for a Sale win as well, because basis on like the game previous where they destroyed them 39-0, I just didn't see Ulster being able to overturn them even though it was at home, but they did, and fair fucking play to them, because like that performance then kind of gives them the mindset to say, well, look, we can do it when we want it, and it's like any other team, when they're losing, when they win, they kind of need that boost in performance. And I hate seeing any of the provinces lose. I do. I love seeing Irish rugby as a whole win weekend after weekend. It does wonders for the Irish team, to have the amount of players that we have in all the counties across all the provinces, across the country, to see it being there for Ireland. It's great. I didn't think they'd do it, but they did, and fair play to them. And I didn't even notice that point there that Ray had said, like there's 7 capped Irish players on that bench. That's a hell of a bench, without a doubt.
It doesn't happen very often at all. Intentional decision.
Absolutely, yeah, Jesus. But just it never sprung to my mind until it was just pointed out, and like it's plain and simple right there.
I think that
actually,
I think that was the point of it, that the Ulster had been struggling so much to finish out games, that is an intentional change in mindset to sort of be able to hang on, and then finish out a game with strength coming off the bench.
Absolutely, yeah.
Actually, Martin, did I get that prediction right last week? The Ulster game.
You get that prediction right, Danny. You had, I'll tell you, I'll read them all out, okay?
And you like to.
James Grennan had Sale +5, Matt had Sale +10, Claire had Sale +7, Peter Burke had Sale +25, myself had Ulster +3, you had Ulster +5.
Ooh. Right, the two of us were right.
Two of us were kind of right, yeah.
Yeah,
and somebody just embarrassed themselves, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know Berkeley's predictions. If he says one team, you bet in the other team. That's how that
I
goes.
could give a fuck. We just go on the fuck, Jesus.
Anytime Burke gives a prediction, it's the opposite.
Burke Oracle Award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I unfortunately I did get the Peter Burke Award in this next game, all right, anyway. Toulouse 20 and Munster 16. Oh.
Yeah.
Mass, you see the game or anything?
I didn't see the game, to be honest, but like looking at the, like, we all know Toulouse are like, they're a formidable French team, and for years they weren't the Toulouse team we saw years ago, you know, where the Toulouse flair was around, but it's definitely back, you know, and they are a strong team, like, and you see like the halves, they're just Dupont and fucking Nantamac, they're just class. They're class. I knew Toulouse were going to win this game. You know, they're at home. It's very hard to go to Toulouse and beat Toulouse. It's just they're just. I didn't see enough of the game to give a proper breakdown of it. But I mean, to be 4 points off Toulouse in France is a hell of an achievement. You know. So. Yeah, that's all I can say really. I didn't see the game. I haven't even looked at any sort of stats or anything. So you'll have to enlighten me there, lads.
Oh no, to be honest with you, I listened to the game on the radio in bits and pieces because I was having a few bits and pieces around the house and had a chance to sit down and watch it. But I'll be honest with you, I know I went for a 1 point Munster win, but I think I kind of knew my heart of hearts that we weren't coming away with win against Toulouse, but your 4 point loss.
You're always going to be up against it, Danny. Now, in fairness.
Yeah, I knew. That's why I knew. I said my heart to heart. I knew we were going to be up against it. I knew we weren't going to come away that easy unless Toulouse completely imploded or shit. He literally hit the fucking fan for him. That's the only way we were going to come away with Toulouse win. Well, Munster win in Toulouse, but your 4 point loss. Fuck it, lads. I'll take that. Peter Martin, you didn't see any of the game or anything?
I did. I watched a fair bit of the game, and arguably one of the tries of the competition this year. That was a hell of a fucking try by Byrne. Jesus Christ, that was brilliant. I actually thought at that stage when it was a Carberry kicked it and Nash gathered it, I thought, here we go, it's momentum lost. But fair play to Nash. He's got great feet. Earl's like feet, and he got the ball to Byrne to score. Byrne was immense in that game. Holy shit. He's just, I'm going to say this now, he's the most underrated player in world rugby.
Tyke Byrne.
Tyke Byrne, the most underrated player in world rugby. Now, bring on the fucking grenades.
The one thing I did see about that game was he was on the wrong side of a ruck, and he pulled the ball out and placed it behind.
He played for the opposition for 2 seconds. Yeah,
the referee fucking thanked him and said, "I was going to give you a penalty, but because of that, now we play on." That's the only thing I saw that game.
That's called trusting your colleagues to fucking hit the next ruck and win the ball back properly.
100%, absolutely, and that's the way it should be. Like a lot of players, like fucking Richie McCaw, if he had seen that now, he'd be like, "What the fuck's he doing?" But like. That was class. It was class.
Yeah.
He's the perfect all around. Like, he showed great strength at one stage. He was carrying the ball and they couldn't stop him. It was like, holy shit, like, because this was one of the things I think had been expressed at one stage, that Tyke Byrne great player, great footballer, fantastic skills. You know, would rob you blind in a phone box. But has he got the power, the physical strength? By Christ, he fucking showed it on more than one occasion against Toulouse. Like,
Yeah,
he was absolutely immense. Like,
they're not small men. They're
What?
not small men.
no, they're not small men. Like, you had Mayafo, who's a bloody monster, absolute fucking monster in the second row alongside Richie Arnold.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But-
Like, statistically, though, the one thing you'd get out of that is that I was looking at it there, that Munster had fuck all of the ball, basically, and fuck all territory, but they got so much out of it. They've more meters gained based on territory and possession than Toulouse probably have. So they really are. Once you give, like, what you take out of that, you give Munster ball, they're going to go with you. They're going to do something with it. They're going to be efficient. They know what they're doing. Look, said it before, Munster are trending that direction, lads. You know, it's all good. Like, Danny wasn't given Roundtree. He was only given this Roundtree this season to get the shit together. So he's given him 6 months, is what I'd be saying at this stage.
Yeah,
you know, he's really like. But come the season's going to end on a high for Munster the way things are going. Yeah. It's only positive.
Yeah, no, but see, I just had that personal rule when coach or manager takes over. Just give him the first season, just give him a clean slate, and you can lay the groundwork. Then you judge him. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
I would have said, Danny, I would agree with you 100% insofar as if there was basically a totally new broom, if there was basically, if it was the back room out, Van Gran and the back room all gone, all given the sack, the P45, and a fresh new guys coming in, still figuring their way out, figuring their way around. But the fact that Roundtree was there, he was kind of the legacy for whatever. He knew exactly what he wanted to do, what would work, what wouldn't work with players, so on. Look, it still could have went the other way, but it's a credit to him and what he's done with Prendergast and Leamy and Costello, that it's all going in the right direction for Munster.
Yeah, but one thing I said, Martin, is that you were saying about the Munster having less ball, I think, in terms of possession and territory. I've seen that with our teams. They have less ball, they have less territory and stuff like that. But you give them that opportunities, they'll fucking nail you. They will fucking nail you, they will get the scores, and they'll literally just put a defensive line across the field, and that's it. Game over. This won't leave their team play. They'll force them into mistakes and stuff like that. Unfortunately, we're not at that level yet. I think it is, but it's coming together, as I said. Burke, you didn't see any of the game or anything, did you?
I did, yeah.
What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Great review, Burke. Great fucking review.
Lads, look, you know what, Danny, leave him. He's in pain there. He's in pain. Leave him. He looks old and fucking contrary.
He was born old and contrary.
It was all right. I'm being my contrary self. It was all right. I mean, as Peter said, as Matt said, and it was all losing. It was going to be a tough ask anyway for Munster to go to Toulouse and win that. I thought actually Munster should have won it. To be honest with you, I thought Coombs. I think Peter Martin was talking about Tyke Byrne. I think Gavin Coombs is one hell of a fucking player. Jack O'Donoghue, not so much. I think he needs to cop onto his fucking his manners somewhat on the pitch. But Gavin Coombs, Tyke Byrne, as Peter said, yes, absolutely. Munster should have won that game. They could have won that game. It was a good game to watch from a neutral. It really was a good game to watch, and Munster certainly pulled it up to them. And Entomac. Who's your man? Who's the fucking scrum half fella? What's his name?
Antoine.
Him. Yeah, DuPont. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, fucking Goldilocks. Whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah.
L'Oreal,
I mean, it was I think Danny. Yeah, I saw the game. Munster should have won it. Toulouse, a really, really, really strong opposition. And as Brian O'Driscoll said in his piece in the paper there, there's 3 teams that he thinks will reach the final. Toulouse, La Rochelle, and Leinster. Now, he didn't mention any South African teams, which is a bit iffy. But sure, there you go. Anyway, the Toulouse Munster game, a good game to watch, great contest. Munster could have had it, but sure, there you go.
Ray, did you see that game, the Toulouse Munster game?
Yeah, no, I watched that game, and I watched that game, and then I went back and I was like, I sat and thought about it. I was like, Munster should not have lost that game.
Yeah,
is the way I'm going to say this. And then I went back and I looked at the stats from that game. And Peter, I'm going to go a wee bit against it. Ulster had 61% of the ball. They had 58% territory. They had 419 meters gained versus 213. And they lost that game. You show those stats, Ulster won that game. So to me, that's a game left behind. And how often can you ever say that about playing Toulouse in France?
Yeah.
I thought Combs was brilliant, as Peter said. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I thought the pack as a whole held up a lot better than I thought they were going to, and actually got better when Wycherley came on, which I never in my life thought I was going to say that. But yeah, I really, really was shocked at how the game played out. I thought Toulouse were going to have that at a canter, and they didn't. And Munster left that game behind them in my eyes.
Totally agree, Ray. Totally agree.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, I know I'm going to bring this up, but the New Year's Day game between the two of us, Ray, Ulster and Munster, you should have won that one as well.
Oh, absolutely. I said that the last time I was on, and I think that was the start of what is going to be a year or two's downfall for Ulster. That was a big, big loss that did big damage.
Yeah, we got lucky with that Healy trying conversion as well. So you practically had it. We just kind of pulled it out the fucking back. By pure dumb fucking luck. But I go back to you again, Ray. Ulster versus the Stormers this weekend. Ulster at home. What way do you think that'll go?
Quietly confident. Stormers playing good rugby. Yeah. I don't know. I think that game at the weekend is going to give a lot of hope. The team is going to be reasonably well settled. No injuries after the weekend. I would like to see it start reasonably the same. Keep that sort of strong bench, that bomb squad, if you want to use that term for it, and see how you're faring out 40, 50, 60 minutes. Start Doak, bring Cooney on. I think the game gets better when Cooney comes on. I don't think Doak is quite there yet. Dolly Burns can go back to England for the week if he wants, but fair enough. We'll see.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to see a Leinster player pull on a white jersey, there's too many of them at the minute to give out about. So Madigan, give him a go, see how things are.
Yeah. Who do you think will win it though?
Close but Ulster. Close but Ulster. Maybe I'll go by 5. Ulster by
5. Burke. Ulster versus Stormers.
Oh God. I don't know. Jesus, I'd love to go Ulster. As Ray said, Ulster by 5. I don't think it's going to be that way. I think Stormers will probably. I think Stormers by 10.
Martin.
I think this will be the trick game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. Does anybody know how well Stormers have done so far on their travels?
It depends on if they fucking send a proper team or not.
Yeah.
Are they flying Ryanair?
Yeah. Look, I'll just stick my head out there. I'll basically copy what Ray said. I'll say Ulster by 5. I think the mojo might be back again. I think Ulster though have that issue at half back. They need to decide what they're doing as regards their half backs, scrum half and out half, the combination or non-combination. Because who's to say Cooney could be gone very quickly, and there's a ginormous void there as regards a game leader, a game manager. So interesting times ahead, I think.
Matt, your opinion?
Yeah, look, this is the trickiest game of the weekend to predict. You've got Ulster, who are not on the best of form at the moment, sitting in fourth place, and you've got Stormers that are South African. They're bullies. They if they send the full fucking team, they'll give anybody a really tough game. But I don't know. It's gonna be it's a tight one. It's as tight as an ounce cunt, this one, I'd say. But I'm gonna go with Ulster just because, I think Stormers will they won't send a proper fucking team. They'll rest their big players because I think they're pitching for European success. So I'm gonna go with Ulster by 6 or 7.
You know what? I would go with an Ulster win as well. Maybe 5 points because that's what you usually say for home.
Yeah.
That's how you go with that.
One other thing, if you don't mind me saying, just to watch out for, and this is if he starts Stephen Kitsoff against next year's employers, and it's going to be out to make a name for himself before he comes. Like, how nice to hit the players you're going to play with next year. It's going to be fun.
I wouldn't surprise you if Kitsoff was in part of that traveling squad anyway, just to get a feel for Raven Hill and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't play.
Yeah. I would love to see him play and see what he does, and what he does against the players he's going to play with next year.
He's all right. He's not fucking great. I mean, he's fucking
I think he's going to make a big difference at Ulster. Andy Warwick is the best loosehead prop at Ulster at the minute. Like,
yeah, but to be honest with you, I think since Jack McGrath had a lot of injury problems and stuff like that, I think Ulster are shocked loosehead there, a quality loosehead. I think that's the only reason bring Kitsoff in as well.
Yeah,
at this stage of his career as well. Matt, Benetton at home to Munster.
I'm going to go with Munster on that one.
Oh,
I'll go Munster by 12 or 13.
Martin, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think Munster will do it. Despite the fact Benetton have a very good home record, I think that could be actually another very good match.
It could be, yeah.
To be fair, because who were Benetton playing there? Was it Connacht they were playing earlier on the season? It was a bit of a humdinger. And Benetton actually won.
Yeah.
Benetton won it in the end. We all thought Connacht would win, but no, I'd say Munster by 15. They just have that bit of extra class. I don't think Benetton, it'll be a good game, but I think Munster will have do enough to take it by 15.
Burke, your prediction on the game?
Munster by 20, easily.
So that's the Benetton win, is it?
Yeah. Munster by 20. Thank you. There you go.
Right. You know what? I'd say after the weekend and Six Nations coming up, I'll give Munster a win, but I'd say 7 points.
7?
7, yeah.
Okay.
Because I'd say a lot of the internationals, I'd say they could rest it down before the Wales game comes up. So I'd say
they're still fucking hocking them, Danny. Fuck's sake, Benetton, Jesus Christ. Come on.
I give them 7 points anyway. Ray, what's your prediction for the Munster Benetton game?
I'm with you, Danny. I think just looking at Benetton's last results, like they beat Stad, they beat Bayonne, they beat Ulster, they've beat within 10 points. I think Munster will still win, but it'll be inside 10 points.
I'll come back to you again, Ray. Leinster at home to Cardiff. Prediction on that one.
If Leinster rested their whole first team, they'll still win.
Yeah. So is it a question of how much and when the bonus points or what? Is it?
It's a bonus point win. Yeah.
So lads, are we all agreeing on a Leinster bonus point win here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bonus point in the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true, Matt. Yeah, bang on.
So I just put on bonus point win, and I leave it at that. That's because I'd say there won't be much point in covering that, because like, I think, as I said, we know it's going to be bonus point win. It's just better win. That's it.
Fair enough.
Last game, that's Connacht at home 10 Lions.
Lions. Sorry.
Is your
Fuck.
fucking
You
name?
just have to pull the Richard Hall there now. And it's jumping the fucking gun. He's been missing for a few weeks, and now all of a sudden
He was too nice to Connacht earlier. Had to get it in there now.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, your prediction on that one?
Again, like another fucking South African team. Will they send the full one or not? I don't think they will. I think Connacht will win that one by, I'd say, I don't think it's going to be a big win for them, but it'll be a win nonetheless. But I'd say within 10, I'd say they'll beat them by.
Martin, your prediction on that one?
Yeah, I think Connacht will. They need a win, so we'll put them down for a win. 10 points.
Burke, Lions win. You said one.
No, Lions will win that.
Yeah. How much do you think, by?
I'd say 7 to 10 points.
In a
Put
wet
that
and
down.
windy, stormy Galway.
Put that down in your book. 7 to 10 points. Lions will beat them.
I have it down, Peter. I do take notes.
Make sure you go to Paddy
the
Power.
Royal
now
Great
because,
Jesus,
Lions.
Peter Burke, you're making it sound like it's fucking history, like.
That's it. Make sure you get a Paddy Power now, because they'll be delighted to take your money, because that's a fucking.
I'm not a
non-win.
gambling man. I don't gamble. I'm not a
Just
gambling
as well, because you'd fucking have no money left to buy your fucking watches.
If there's anything decent that I'm taking it, don't worry about that.
I'm telling you, I would be rifling through every single
every-
fucking package belonging to him.
See this one? You recognize that, Peter?
Ray, what's your prediction of the game?
I was 50-50 about this until Burke started chatting about it. No, genuinely. Connacht at home, Lions on their travels. Fuck it, I'll say Connacht inside 7 points. Say 6-7 points.
Yeah, I'd say Connacht at home. South from teams don't perform well away. Lions price in the weekend squad. I'd say Connacht by 7.
So Peter Burke is the odd man out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Lions, lads, I'm telling you, Lions will fucking beat Connacht.
How much do you want to put down?
I'm not a gambling man. I don't bet. I buy stuff that's going to increase in value. I don't fucking gamble money.
Hey, what
Right.
is she betting?
I'll
I'm
tell you
saying,
what,
I'm saying 7 to 10 points for what do you call it?
I tell you what, Peter, right? I tell you what, right?
Well,
If Connacht beat the Lions, you give me one of them fucking mugs that you're fucking harping on about all the time.
yeah, okay.
Right? And
Yeah.
if Lions beat Connacht,
yeah,
I'll fucking send you 20 quid and you can buy a few points for yourself.
I don't want your
That's
money.
unfair.
No. I don't.
That's
I don't.
unfair now.
Is your
If-
mother
if-
from
if-
Galway or
if-
something?
If the Lions, Matt, if the Lions beat Connacht, right, the bet is null and void. I'm not a gambling man. If Connacht beat the Lions by 7 to 10 points, I'll send you a mug. Fair enough. That fair enough.
Fair enough.
Right, grand job. There you go.
All right, that's
Here, yeah.
Do what?
I have lots of witnesses now for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
no problem. I'd stand up. I'll, no problem with me. I'll do it for you.
just take a minute, the 53-minute mark or something like that, of the video. They'll know that that's your evidence there, Matt. So
Timestamp.
actually, we're at 56 minutes, I think, if I'm right.
Oh, where are we?
So
Oh, the thing is still flashing on my phone here, Danny. Yeah, recording. Yeah, Jesus Christ, I forgot I was recording. Jesus Christ.
I
Go on.
is there any other bits and pieces that you want to bring up?
What about briefly, Danny, the last 16 in the Heineken Cup to cover 4 minutes?
I suppose we could, yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah, we just do the Irish. We just do the Irish provinces. I don't have the games here with me anyway. So
Okay, so we have Leinster v Ulster. I think Leinster will win that.
Yeah.
Anyone else
everyone in
quickly?
favour of Leinster. Everyone in favour of Leinster.
Oh, come on, Ray.
Do you realize this is Leinster versus the Ulster Mall? That's all it is.
Because we've got who away? Wolves, is it?
You have the Sharks, I think.
Sharks. Oh, yeah, we have Sharks away anyway.
Yeah, you lose that.
Jesus. That will scrape it. 1-2 anyway.
Who have Ulster got? Ulster, Leinster, Connacht Sharks, Munster.
Munster Sharks.
Munster Shark. Yeah,
Oh,
Connacht have Benetton.
Connacht and Township. They Benetton. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That'll be a good
They're away to the.
That'll be a good game.
Oh yeah, Connacht could squeeze by that one. I'd say they want to get revenge for Benetton to beat them in the URC. I'd say. So they want to knock them over Europe. So I'd say, yeah, I'd give Connacht that one, to be honest with you. Advance to the next round.
Yeah.
Definitely. Actually, if I'm right, if I saw this correctly, if Munster beat the Sharks and Toulouse win their game, they'll beat again in the quarter-final with Toulouse beat at home.
I'd actually win that game this time.
Yeah, it could happen.
That's happen.
If
that can be a home game for Munster, seriously fancy it after that last game.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, but that's if Toulouse win and Munster win. But Toulouse wouldn't be at home because it's higher in the table than us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's still that possibility if things go that way. They'll probably get beat again. But
literally should have won that game. You know, you see that game on paper, Munster won that game 9 times out of 10, and the way they played, if they do that again, they should win.
Yeah, but so I'd say if you get Toulouse again in the quarterfinal, round two, yeah, could be alright. And actually, there's one more thing as well I'll bring up now since somewhere fresh in the head as well is the combined provinces. The women's team, they're playing in the Celtic Championship. I think their first game is 11 a.m. Saturday morning. The only thing is I haven't seen where the game is being broadcast. I'm not sure if it's on.
I've no idea, Danny, but I love the jersey.
That was literally all I was going to say too. It's a class jersey.
Yeah, because it's like I think they got the idea from the Irish Exiles jersey.
Yeah.
You know, because they had something similar to how they did the 4 finishing colours on it. I think they posted in the group somewhere as well. But yeah, I think that's where they probably got the second idea for it and just kind of set it up right. But I think I was reading somewhere as well that they're looking to expand the competition if this one takes off. Now I think they might be looking to expand it maybe 2 years down the line. So if you remember the first game at the Aviva, it was kind of 2 combination squads, just Leinster, Ulster, Munster, Connacht. You could be going down that way. If they do expand it because it's NB. 3 teams, 6 teams, expanded that way and text from there. But that's the only other thing I'd say that's coming into my head anyway. Anyone got anything else before we finish up?
No.
Anything big to say with the Ireland squad?
How about the Ireland squad?
Anything big to say about it? Everyone happy enough?
Yeah.
Yeah,
not really.
We could go into over an hour here now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I think that'll be next week's chat, will it?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. That'll be next week Saturday because we got 6 Nations I think coming up. Is it Saturday week, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the first round of games, yeah. So I suppose Joe will be kind of trying to figure out who's and if any lads get injured and have to be replaced, we'll probably know that then during the week anyway or have an idea of who's going to be replaced them anyway. So I suppose we might as well leave that now to next week at this stage anyway.
Can I make a suggestion at this early stage as regards the Six Nations that we maybe move this night, if possible, to Thursday night? So we'll have, because normally we have the Irish team as amongst the last to be named due to scheduling.
Yeah.
Actually say, if the team was announced at 2 o'clock on the Thursday, that we're on live at
Yeah.
8 o'clock, and it's hot. We've a few hours to digest it.
That's a good
Plus,
show.
we'd likely to know all the other teams as well. Just a suggestion.
No,
Yeah, no, good point, Pete. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I agree with you. If it works out for all, that's stuff is good.
And
Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
then-
absolutely. Yeah.
Everything we let's see if you. I suppose we wrap this up with you, lads.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
All right, that's from Ray Gallagher, our guest, Matt
Ray.
Boland, Peter Martin, Peter Burke, and myself. That's you see you post in the group soon. See you next week. Take care.
Danny, I'll see you on Saturday.
See you Saturday, Burke. Take care, lads.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Cheers, lads. Good luck.